Alright, so part 2 of Operation Lucifer. Now a new twist has kind of come into play in the game, and that is the fact that Perry and Jeri, who were playing the brother and sister running these cults, were immune to the virus along with the rest of the OpFor. So I guess that means that the rest of the OpFor must be related to Perry and Jeri. Maybe we're their kids or... better not go there. But anyways, because we were immune to the virus, that meant that when everyone else had to go back to decontaminate, we didn't have to, so we could stay on the field. At this point here, all players are on the field. The decontamination time hasn't come yet. We have some enemy cult members that are down this hallway, and we're helping out Jeri's cult or minions try to clear this building at this point. Go. Now Clarky's going to push down this hallway. That's John on point ahead of him there. The enemy are past that wooden door, so we're just going to try to post up down here and see if we can get through. Clark signals it's clear for some more of us to move down the hall and start to get in position.
Go.
Takes a little peek at the courtyard, looking peaceful out there.
I can shoot through that. I can literally.
Now I noticed that the wall right above the door doesn't actually go to the ceiling, so I was thinking, oh, I'm just going to throw this grenade over top of the wall.
I can get this over top. You can.
But then I looked through the crack and I'm like, ah, damn, there's no one actually down the hall. They're off to the right in this doorway here. So now I get ready to chuck the grenade. I'm going to slow-mo it, make it look epic, and then show you the fail because it hit the wall and bounced to the left. Say screw it, I squeeze through this little window frame. John follows me. I'm going to trade with the player down here, and then Clark's going to take the logical approach of just opening the door. But then my grenade goes off and scares the crap out of him right there. But it didn't faze him because he just went in like a boss and cleaned up the rest of that room. Some of our fellow cult members are going to continue to clear the building. Perry sees me here. He's going to get me and medic me.
You dead?
Yeah. You okay? That's a good clear. Good shot.
Yeah.
John got hit in the exchange, so Clark's going to take care of him in this room.
I just was like, fuck, John's gone. He can't be left alone.
No.
Now, we ended up clearing the building right into their spawn point, and we were like, what the heck are they doing in there? We made a truce, went in, and they were doing a design of the whole field using the blocks from the floor. It was the coolest thing I've seen in a long time. Well done, gentlemen and ladies.
Hi, OGA guys. What's going on, man?
Too much.
Fucking covert shit.
Hell yeah.
We don't know what we're doing.
You guys are confusing sometimes.
At this point, everybody has about 10 minutes to get back to their spawn points.
Where's
Is that a VSS?
John?
Your gun? Is that a VSS?
Yeah.
So I play a lot of PUBG,
nice.
and the VSS is in that game, and that looked just like it, so that's why I asked him. I was like, is that the VSS? I don't know if he knew it or not, or even if it was a VSS. Maybe there's another gun that looks like it, but either way, Clark does a little fancy stance, whatever that was, and we're going to try to fake like we're going back to a spawn point. Because like I said before, we don't have to go back to the spawn points anymore when the decontamination time comes. This is actually a chapel we walk into. Didn't realize it at first until I started looking around and was like, whoa, wait a second. All right, we cleared this. Let's get out of here. But our next plan is to go to the woods. There's a woods that kind of surrounds part of this field. And we can sneak around the woods and try to get to the enemy spawn that we started in last night. Now you're probably wondering, why do we want to go back to that spawn point we started in last night? Well, because the decontamination time has come, all of them are going to be there, and we are going to try to launch in some grenades, some tag rounds, and kill them all while they're in their spawn.
I got you.
Now the reason we're sneaking around is it took us quite a while to get to this point, and we're not sure if the enemy have started to come out of the decontamination zone yet. We're hoping they're still in there. We see the building we need to attack. We're going to start to move towards it and see if we can raise some hell. Now, unfortunately for me, my timing was off by a little bit. Clark managed to just get up far enough that no one saw him. Just as I got up to this point here, the enemy peeked around the corner of the building and looked at me. So I tried to play like I was a friendly and waved back at them. But they didn't really, believe me. So I immediately had to return fire and race to the building, and the attack was on. Somehow during this trip through the woods, I managed to knock my camera angle downwards. And you're going to see right here, this is the view I have now. So I'll try to work with the scope cam footage, but needless to say, I have a new camera set up now. John and Perry are way up there. They're trying to get to that doorway right away. Clark's right behind them. I decide I have to stay behind, or these guys are just going to come around and flank us all. So these boys are moving up, and they're not quite sure what's happening to me back there. And because John and Perry are up farther ahead, they think Clark stayed behind with me. So when they turn around and they see Clark, it kind of spooks them. But just as they turn around, an enemy comes out the door right there, and Clark's tag round saves their lives. He just blasts it right past Perry into the enemy on the other side of that door. It's pure skill. Meanwhile, I'm still down at this corner dealing with at least 3 or 4 enemy. They're top and bottom of the wall, both shooting at me. They can't get me though, thankfully. Now I heard that grenade go off and I thought, perfect, mission accomplished. That must be Perry, Clark, and those boys taking out the spawn. I'm thinking at this point that the enemy have radioed the guys that I'm dealing with and said, hey, we're getting attacked in the spawn. So I leave the corner and I'm going to bait these guys to come around, and hopefully they're going to think that I left and went all the way up to help the assault on the spawn. For this to work the way I want it to, I've got to be patient. And as you can see, I am being patient. And I also didn't want to shoot him in the face. Like, no face mask, no helmet. Man, I could have lit. That would have been bad. So I'm going to wait.
Coco!
As the peekaboos continue, my mind game's starting to take effect. He's building up more confidence that there's not someone sitting there in the bushes 15 feet away with a scope cam right in your face. I'm hoping that he's going to tell his buddies, yeah, sector clear, and they're just going to walk right out in front of me and I can mow them all down. It's at this point right here that I realize my plan is about to go perfectly. He points down at Clark, and I'm like, all right, he thinks that I've moved up with them. They're going to come around this corner, and I'm going to own him. Clark moves up to the wall, putting him out of the view of the guys that are down by me. Now he's trying to get up to medic John and Perry here, but an enemy pops out, ends up hitting him. And now Clark, Perry, and John are down. It's just me left. What I don't know is an enemy squad is now clearing down behind me, trying to make sure that no one's left. And when these guys come around the corner, I switch my gun to shoot around ankle level, you know. I didn't want to hit anybody in the face. But with all the leaves, it kind of blew my camera angle to crap, so yeah, sorry about that. However, it caused that whole squad to retreat back behind the corner, but then I saw a shadow of a player sneaking behind me right there. I take him out, but the other guy is on the right of me, and he shoots me in the helmet from the bush. Nice shot,
I
Visser.
got squeezed.
The next example is why you never want to be captured by the enemy.
I know.
Oh, jeez.
You've got quick now.
I thought you were a virgin, but I guess not.
I mean,
For the record, he's a good buddy of mine, so, you know, that was all in good fun. It wasn't just a random player, you know, sticking his crotch in my face. Might be a little different story, I guess. Once they completed searching us, they released us back into the game, which meant we could head back to our spawns to respawn. This time, I'd like to thank you for watching part 2. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, share, like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.
There's another squad that's...
Oh yeah, and while Perry and I are having this heart-to-heart, if you'd like to see some other cool content, check out Clarky's channel, Airsoft Ops, and PhoenixFeatherAirsoft. He's a player from Germany. Very good video editor. I'll put both the links in the description.